láyé táwa yìí sẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá ẹ̀dàkúnyé ẹ̀yìn òbí wa tẹ́bà lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá ẹ̀dàkúnyé ẹ̀yìn òbí wa tẹ́bà lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa ẹ̀dàkúnyé ẹ̀yìn òbí wa tẹ́bà lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Kò gba ẹ̀kọ́ ó dáni lójú pé yóò jìyà iṣẹ́ burúkú ni wọ́n ń ṣe tí wọ́n bá jáde wọ́n wá tún fọ́lé ẹ̀dàkúnyé ẹ̀yìn òbí wa lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa iṣẹ́ burúkú ni wọ́n ń ṣe tí wọ́n bá jáde wọ́n wá tún fọ́lé ẹ̀dàkúnyé ẹ̀yìn òbí wa tẹ́bá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wá ẹ̀dàkùn yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa tẹ́bá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wá. láyé táwa yìí sẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá ẹ̀dàkúnyé ẹ̀yin òbí wa tẹ́bà lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá ẹ̀dàkúnyé ẹ̀yin òbí wa tẹ́bà lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa ẹ̀dàkúnyé ẹ̀yin òbí wa tẹ́bà lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Kò pẹ́ kàn ó dání lójú pé yóò kíyà kò gba ẹ̀kọ́ ó dáni lójú pé yóò jìyà iṣẹ́ burúkú ni wọ́n ń ṣe tí wọ́n bá jalè wọ́n wá tún fọ́lé ẹ̀dá kún yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa iṣẹ́ burúkú ni wọ́n ń ṣe tí wọ́n bá jalè wọ́n wá tún fọ́lé ẹ̀dá kún yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa ẹ̀dá kún yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa.
Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. With this quote from Anthony D'Angelo, I welcome you to another edition of this wonderful program on radio, Education Today. Education Today is a program that aims to call attention of the public to education matters as they affect the effective running of the educational system and the achievement of educational goals. This comes on air every Saturday on this station, Lights Radio. My name is OLUBUNMI KAZEEM, and our goal with this program is to educate, inform, orientate, and entertain the society on educational matters, address issues affecting the educational system, influence public opinion, and drive effective policy directions to guide the formulators and implementers. For your comments, questions, and contributions, you can reach us on Facebook via www.facebook.com/lightsradio. Our Twitter handle is @TheLightsRadio, Instagram Lights_Radio, YouTube Lights Radio. You can also call or send a message to us via SMS or WhatsApp on the number 0809 738 4000. 0809 738 4000. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, the program continues. Please stay with us. Just joined in, you are listening to Education Today on Lights Radio. We kick off with the news segment, and in the news today, you're welcome. This is the news on Education Today, reaching you live from Lights Radio. I'm OLUBUNMI KAZEEM. First, the headlines. NYSC director warns core members against defacing uniforms. MBT advocates establishment of skills development fund. OAU lecturer slumps and dies in his office. And on the foreign scene, a visa ban. UK varsities hit with low revenue as Nigerians turn to Canada. Then universities trapped in triangle of sadness, says Vice Chancellor. Now the details. The acting director of all NYSC formations in the Southwest Geopolitical Zone, Mrs. Olubukola Oluwaremilekun Abiodun, has warned core members against defacing the national symbol of the NYSC uniform. The acting director expressed her dismay at the unpleasant attitude of some members of the service corps who are fond of adjusting the khaki shirt and trouser to a ridiculous and unacceptable pattern. Mrs. Abiodun bared her mind while addressing the 2023 batch C Stream 1 core members at the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp in Ikare Akoko during an oversight function and part of orientation course assignment. She queried the core members if they had ever seen any member of the Nigerian Armed Forces or paramilitary put on uniform that cast aspersions on the image of their respective organizations. Mrs. Abiodun, who was the erstwhile acting director of North Central Area Office, charged the core members to make decisions that will guarantee their future, as she urged them to be focus-driven and calculative. Similarly, the National Youth Service Corps has introduced new registration guidelines for prospective corps members, prohibiting the addition or removal of names. The NYSC said only the name at matriculation as stated on the JAM admission letter is allowed for upload on the portal. Additionally, the Corps announced that corrections of dates of graduation will no longer be permitted in orientation camps. The Executive Secretary of the National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, Professor Idris Bugaje, has called for the establishment of a National Skills Development Fund, NSDF. Bugaje said the fund should be created to support the informal skills sector as a way of achieving self-reliance and economic growth. He particularly noted that such a fund will support the Panteca market in Kaduna and other informal skills sectors across the country. He made the call at the graduation of the first set of artisans from the Panteca market in Kaduna, noting the 23 artisans were trained at the Center for Technology Development, CTD Kaduna Polytechnic. Bugaje disclosed that they were subsequently awarded the National Skills Qualification NSQ Level 3 certification by the Nigerian Institute of Building NIOB. The graduates were certified in masonry, plumbing installation, welding and fabrication, as well as electrical installation, among others. Also, 3 of the graduates were members of staff of the board who formed the cohort, and they also got this certification. A senior lecturer in the Department of Science and Technology Education, Faculty of Education, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Dr. Ayodele Isaac Ojediran, slumped and died in his office. The incident, which happened on Tuesday, November 14, 2023, has thrown the entire university community into mourning. Ojediran was reportedly rushed to the institution's clinic immediately he slumped, but he did not make it. The president, Faculty of Education Student Association of Nigeria, Victor Adeshokon, who confirmed the development to reporters on Wednesday, said he was with Ojediran the night before his death. And according to him, the deceased, whom he described as a father, complained of headache, adding that the deceased appeared very weak. Adeshokon, who complained of inadequate academic personnel in the faculty, noted that Ojediran's demise is a forced death among the lecturers in the faculty in the outgoing year. In his words, on Monday night he complained of headache and stress. We told him to rest. They, the lecturers, have too much workload on them. The school needs to recruit more lecturers, especially that of Faculty of Education. For example, a lecturer that is supposed to be a level advisor will now be doing the work of 6 to 7 lecturers, Adeshokon was reported to have said. The West African Examinations Council on Monday announced that it has ditched the paper and pencil test model and has adopted the computer-based test mode for the conduct of the Senior School Certificate Examination. This is contained in a statement signed by the Acting Head of Public Affairs Unit of WAEC, Moyosola Adeshina, and released on Monday. According to the statement, the innovation would kick off with the conduct of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination for private candidates in February 2024. Part of the statement reads, in line with global best practices, the Nigerian National Office of the West African Examinations Council wishes to inform the general public and all its stakeholders that it has concluded plans to migrate its WASC for private candidates examination diets from paper and pencil tests to computer-based examination. Furthermore, WAEC said the first series of the CBT mode will commence with WASC for private candidates 2024 first series, which is slated to hold in February 2024. It also asserted that according to WAEC, that the objective test will be fully computer-based. The essay and test of practicals will be hybrid, in which the examination question will be delivered on screen and candidates required to write the answers on the answer booklets given to them. Most of the universities in the United Kingdom have been experiencing reduced admissions from international students, including Nigerians, following the dependent visa ban policy of the British government. You will recall that the UK Home Office, under the sacked Interior Secretary Suella Braverman, introduced the dependent visa ban policy that restricted Nigerians and other migrants from bringing family members with them, with effect from January 2024. Recall that the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Richard Montgomery, while speaking on the policy in June, had said that it was implemented to avoid overburdening the British economy's housing infrastructure and to control the inflow of migrants. Recounting the repercussions of the policy, the universities and business schools said they could no longer meet their admission targets for 2024, according to a report by O23 Chartered Association of Business Schools (CABS) annual membership survey. On the foreign scene, students will suffer if the university system in the UK is allowed to decline in quality as a result of funding pressures, a vice-chancellor has warned. British universities will need to recruit more international students if undergraduate tuition fees remain frozen, according to a paper by Professor Kshitij Kapoor, Vice-Chancellor of King's College London, KCL. Also, the leader of the Roselle Group University has warned that universities are trapped in a triangle of sadness between students burdened with debt and a stretched government that allowed tuition fees to fall behind inflation, and beleaguered university staff who felt caught in the middle. The government raised the cap on university tuition fees in England to £9,000 a year in 2012, and it has been fixed at £9,250 since 2017. Professor Kapoor said the fees were now worth around £6,000 in real terms, and inflation had eroded 20% of the resource of universities in the last 3 years. He concluded by saying that the paper called for a system of inflation-related uplift in student fees linked to measures of quality as determined by the Teaching Excellence Framework. That's all on the news today. But before we go, another look at the major stories. We told you that the NYSC director has won core members against the facing uniform. We also brought to you that the MBC had advocated the establishment of Skills Development Fund. And on the foreign scene, universities in the UK have been warned of being trapped in a triangle of sadness, according to a vice chancellor. That's the news. It was compiled by Nima Ibrahim and edited by OLUBUNMI KAZEEM. For coverage of your educational events, seminars, conferences, fairs, competitions, among others, you can call us on 070-2507-4268, or you can send us an email via educationmediaservices@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.
Iṣẹ́ burúkú ni wọ́n ń ṣe tí wọ́n bá jalè wọ́n wá tún fọ́lé ẹ̀dá kún yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Iṣẹ́ burúkú ni wọ́n ń ṣe tí wọ́n bá jalè wọ́n wá tún fọ́lé ẹ̀dá kún yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ̀dá kún yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa.
That's all we can take on the news for today. Right now, we'll take the Did You Know segment with Said Aremo. Hello, Said.
Hi, Mr. KAZEEM.
Let's have the Did You Know segment.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Did You Know segment of Education Today, where we consider random ideas, thoughts, personalities, events, concepts, and celebrations that many people are unaware of. The objective is to broaden our horizon and increase our base knowledge of things around us beyond what is taught in schools and classes. I am Said Aremu. Today, we want to talk about Rhodesia. Rhodesia was a former country in Southern Africa, now known as Zimbabwe. It existed from 1965 to 1979 and was known for its controversial unilateral declaration of independence from British rule in 1965. Rhodesia's UDI in 1965 was led by Prime Minister Ian Smith, who sought to maintain white minority rule in the face of growing pressure for majority rule. This declaration resulted in international condemnation and economic sanctions. The country's struggle for independence continued, marked by the Rhodesian Bush War, which occurred from 1964 to 1979, which involved conflict with black nationalist groups like the Zimbabwe African National Liberation Army, ZANLA, and the Zimbabwe's People Revolutionary Army, ZIPRA. Rhodesia was named after British imperialist Cecil Rhodes, and its history is closely tied to colonialism. The white minority government in Rhodesia pursued a policy of racial segregation resembling South Africa's apartheid system. The country's wealth was concentrated in the hands of the white population, while the majority black population faced political and economic disenfranchisement. During the Rhodesian Bush War, the government, led by Ian Smith, faced armed resistance from black nationalist groups seeking to end minority rule. The conflict had humanitarian consequences with reports of atrocities on both sides. The UDI and subsequent isolation of Rhodesia had economic repercussions as sanctions took a toll on the country's economy. The Non-Contest House Agreement, facilitated by the UK, led to a negotiated settlement for majority rule, ultimately culminating in the establishment of independent Zimbabwe. The history of Rhodesia is complex and multifaceted, reflecting the broader themes of decolonization, racial tensions, and struggles for self-determination in Africa during the 20th century. That's all we can take on the Did You Know segment. Education Today continues after this short break. Please stay with us.
That was the Did You Know segment. Now you know Rhodesia. When you hear Rhodesia, think of modern day Zimbabwe. So right now we'll take the International Day segment, and we still have Said in the house ready to give us that. Let's have it.
Welcome again to the International Day segment of Education Today, where we take a look at different days marked by the United Nations to commemorate different aspects of our lives as global citizens. I remain Said Aremu. Today, we will be considering the World Toilet Day, the UN Water World Toilet Day, commemorated every 19th of November every year. World Toilet Day, observed annually on November 19, is an international day of awareness and action aimed at tackling global sanitation issues. The day highlights the importance of proper sanitation and advocates for access to clean and safe toilets for everyone, especially in regions where sanitation facilities are inadequate. World Toilet Day aims to address the global sanitation crisis, raise awareness about the health and social implications of inadequate sanitation, and promote sustainable sanitation practices. It is recognized by various organizations, including the United Nations, which emphasizes the link between sanitation, dignity, and well-being. World Toilet Day is also closely linked to the issue of open defecation, which is the practice of people defecating outdoors or in places without proper sanitation facilities. The day highlights the adverse consequences of open defecation on public health, the environment, and human dignity. Right now, there are 3.5 billion people still living without safe toilets. 490 million people still practice open defecation. In these situations, diseases spread, killing 1,000 children under 5 every single day. This global crisis poses a threat to nature and everyone's health, particularly women, girls, and other vulnerable groups. World Toilet Day serves as a platform to engage governments, non-governmental organizations, the private sector, and the public in efforts to improve sanitation infrastructure, hygiene, education, and overall access to toilets, particularly in areas facing challenges related to water and sanitation. World Toilet Day was officially designated by the United Nations General Assembly in 2013. However, its roots can be traced back to initiatives by various non-governmental organizations and advocacy groups working to address sanitation issues. The day was established to address the global sanitation crisis and promote the Sustainable Development Goal SDG 6, which aims to ensure access to water and sanitation for all by 2030. The choice of November 19 is symbolic as it represents the day the World Toilet Organization was founded in 2001. World Toilet Day provides a platform to draw attention to the billions of people worldwide who still lack access to proper sanitation facilities, leading to severe health risks, environmental pollution, and societal challenges. The day encourages governments, organizations, and individuals to take concrete steps toward improving sanitation infrastructure and practices, with the ultimate goal of creating a world where everyone has access to safe and clean toilets. That's what we can take on the World International Day. I remain your host, Said Aremu. Education Today continues. Please stay with us. You are still on to Education Today on Light Radio, and we are moving into the discourse segment. We are discussing lecturers' workload in public tertiary institutions, a cause for concern. As a background, a senior lecturer in the Department of Science and Technology, Education, Faculty of Education, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Dr. Ayodele Isaac Ojediran slumped and died in his office. The incident, which happened on Tuesday, November 14, 2020, was attributed to physical and psychological stress. This death, it was reported, is the fourth among lecturers in the faculty this year. Many universities have complained of inadequate personnel attending to the increasing population of tertiary institution students. How true is this assertion? What is the cause of stress and increased academic workload? What are the possible effects? What is the way out? These and more are the posers we seek answers to on today's discourse. Joining us on the program today is our in-house analyst and educational consultant, researcher, and lecturer at the University of Lagos, Mr. OLUBUNMI KAZEEM. Good afternoon, Mr. KAZEEM.
Good afternoon, Said. Good afternoon, our listeners. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Well, actually, it's a pleasure to have you here. You can maybe remember, you can be a part of this discourse by sending your comment and questions to 08097384000 or drop your comment via the live video feeds on Facebook and YouTube. Before moving into the discourse proper, on which date is the World Toilet Day commemorated? Now, that is our quiz, and you could stand an interesting prize by getting it right. Remember, send your answer to the WhatsApp number 08097384000 or our Facebook or YouTube page. The first correct answer wins the prize. Okay, Mr. KAZEEM. First question: how would you react to the death of Dr. Isaac Ojediran of OAU, which occurred this week?
Well, it's a sad incident. We're talking about the loss of intellectuals. An intellectual like that, senior lecturer for that matter, already does eyeing, professorship cadre. Then apart from that, you're talking about someone who probably has served the university for many years before he could actually rise to that level of being a senior lecturer. Talking about a very good brain. We're talking about the Department of Science and Technology Education. So here in Nigeria, we're talking about STEAM and science, technology, education, arts, and mathematics. Okay. Now, so you now talk about such a brilliant man with contributing immensely to the production of capable hands, would-be teachers, science teachers for the educational system. For such a person to die as a result of probably that stress and things like that, for him to slump, you can imagine, at work. Not at home, not in the bus, not an accident, not probably driving or moving somewhere else. At work, in his office, to now slump like that and rush to the hospital, the university clinic, and declared dead. It's very, very sad. My heart goes to the family members of Dr. Ojediran, the university community of Obafemi Awolowo University, especially the Faculty of Education, and more importantly, the Department of Science and Technology Education, and to the academic fraternity all over Nigeria for this irreparable loss of a senior colleague and just a brilliant mind. You're talking about the fact that a lot of people are really not frustrated with this job. To now have people that are still committed to this job, dying in such circumstances, very sad. Seriously, I'm short of words, and I don't know. I'm trying to imagine how the family would feel now. That's a breadwinner taken away, and probably what would be the lot of his family, the dependents, those who are looking up to our daddy. Daddy has left home to work today. So some they imagine the kids waiting. Oh, daddy will come back. Probably I need to probably ask for one kind of more money or the other. I was told to probably bring something from school, or I need to pay something, and don't worry, probably the mom will just say, let your daddy come back, not knowing that the daddy will not come back. I'm trying to imagine, like myself as a father, I know how important the kind of role that I play within my family, for me to be taken out of my family like that.
Honestly, I think
it's very, very sad. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm hoping the university will probably provide some sort of cushioning for the loss of the man. Or maybe the Nigerian government at large, actually. So
cushioning.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope so. When you make mention of something like that, and you're like, even for those that are still alive, to what extent have they actually cushioned, some of the challenges they are facing? Do we have probably, health insurance scheme like that, or a a life insurance, facility for academics in Nigerian universities? It doesn't exist.
Yeah, we don't have one.
We don't have. So it's just an individual thing. So I'm not sure anybody within the public university system, have their life insured by the institution. I'm not talking about probably individual arrangements with probably insurance companies or whatsoever. I'm talking about as a policy by government that, okay, all public institutions, public tertiary institutions, or even public institutions generally, that all workers in public institutions will probably have life assurance, cover for them, and probably so that at least in case anything happens to them, at least the government will be there to be able to take care of their family. It doesn't exist. It's sad.
Very sad indeed. We hope to bring attention to this with this.
Well, probably that's another thing. So let's hope that the government would probably do the needful in this area.
Yeah. So what would you say is the probable cause of his death, and do you think it could have been prevented?
Well, probable cause of his death, I really can't say because I don't conduct autopsy and I'm not a pathologist. Probably conducting that, but then. From that particular news report, at least from the one that we got from OAU, and for the circumstances surrounding the death, for the fact that he died in his office, he was in his office the previous day, so he was in his office that particular day too, continuing the work. So most likely it's stress, burnout that could probably have resulted in that thing that happened. What I mean is,
it develops, right?
Over time, because see, you only talk about the fact that people need to relax. You don't really relax. You probably die someone else that will take over your responsibility if you're not there.
True.
So it's that continuous work and work and work and work and work without rest, without do we go on vacation in Nigeria?
In fact, as a matter of fact,
no, seriously, it's something that does not exist except we want to deceive ourselves.
Yes,
we don't. We don't recreate.
I think about 300 days in a year. Is like the maximum, the highest number of days. I think maybe the second highest of any country in the world.
Working days?
Yes.
So now you talk about the fact that these are people that actually work all around the year. As one group of students are leaving, another set of students are coming in, probably full-time, part-time, this program, that program. It's the same set of people that is attending to, different sets of students. So it's continuous work and work and work. So most likely the man, from the report and from, the situation, the circumstances surrounding his death.
And what the student also
and what the students also say. So you cannot separate it from the fact that probably this man died of burnout. The stress, the fatigue.
Physical and mental stress.
Physical and mental stress could have, been the cause of, his death. What is even the time to even go for medical checkup or to go for vacation or to take a deserved rest? For a lot of people, in fact, many lecturers have actually not even been able to go on leave ever since the ASU strike. Because they told you that you have already taken all the period of your leave. You have already done that during the period of the strike. That's the mentality. So, and at the end of the day, see, nobody's actually going on leave for now.
Actually, I think I was surprised one of our own lecturers also around after he was said to be on leave.
You see, that's probably on paper.
Wow.
So, stress.
Now, that will take me to the next question. There's this assertion that our institutions do not have adequate personnel to attend to students. Do you think that is true? Do you want to back it up or you want to outright reject it?
See, it's glaring even to the blind. Probably let me ask you. Let me use you as an example. No, seriously. Right, so I would arrive at something. Okay, we want to swap roles now.
Yeah, of course.
Now, in your department, how many lecturers do you have?
Full-time lecturers probably have 6 or so, I think. When I say full-time, that I actually have employment that are, duly registered with the
I'm not talking about instructors. Lab instructors or something like that.
External lecturers, people that have their own duties they are not lecturers per se. in the sense that they don't have their names with the department, but they come from outside, then they come to lecture us. So we have a lot of them, but full-time lecturers with the school itself, we are just about 6.
Now, what's the student population in your department like?
About 500 in my own department.
Now, imagine just your own department, and I'm talking about full-time undergraduate student, just undergraduate student now. So they are saying that 6 lecturers officially to about 500 students. So let's do the math. So you're saying that one lecturer is attending to like how many students now?
That would be about
500 divided by 6.
It's about I think
So you're talking about the fact that probably one lecturer is attending to just average of 80 students,
70 students.
80 something students, and those are just undergraduate students. You're not talking about masters. You're not talking about MPhil or PhD students. You're not talking about probably those that still run some other probably part-time programs. You're not talking about the fact that these same lecturers will actually probably also have some responsibilities within the university, within the faculty. Within that same number of lecturers, one will be HOD, one will be PG coordinator, one will be exam officer, one would be this and that, and they will have to combine that with these academic responsibilities. Now, and you cannot, most times, even for some departments, the number of postgraduate students are almost the same, if sometimes even more
than
the undergraduate students.
In fact,
so now you now look at that. And you're saying that you're dealing with this, it's just the same set of people dealing with different categories of students. And probably because your own department and Faculty of Environmental Science, it's not.
Our population is actually still manageable.
It's still manageable.
But I like to look
now,
at it.
You now look at probably some other faculties, some other departments that have very large amount of students, and they have different categories of students, different kinds of program being run. You have students that undergraduate students, like let's look at Faculty of Education, because Dr. Ejejen is from Faculty of Education.
Yeah, actually.
Now, so you're talking about the fact that this man, for instance, probably would attend to the full-time undergraduate students. Among the undergraduate students, I also have some probably that are distance learning students. Among them, I also have some probably that if this university also runs sandwich programs, they also have, because education they also have some set of students like that. Some of these faculties will also probably have students that are on foundation programs that do this JUPEB. This same probably attend to some of this these students. These same lecturers will attend to the master students, the PhD students. Now some of them will also attend to the PGDE students. Those are probably coming from that faculty. They want to come into Faculty of Education to do a diploma program. The same set of people. Now, this same set of lecturers, you expect them to also write papers, publish, attend research conferences. You also expect them to actually offer community services both within and outside the university, handle different administrative positions, attend meetings, attend all this, the same set of people. And you still want them to also be responsible at home to their family members, to their friends and colleagues, old students and things like that. So that is just to give you an idea that when we talk about the fact that Nigerian universities or probably tertiary institutions generally are short-staffed, it's not an assumption, and it is not probably hyperbole. It's not exaggeration. It is actually the reality of what is going on.
You're just like, addressed that question from a different perspective. One day, one of our lecturers was actually complaining about number of courses. Now, let's look at it from that angle. Like, you have one lecturer taking about 4 or 5 courses across different levels. Like, Imam was literally telling us that when we get to like 500 level, he's going to be taking us about 4 different courses, just him.
For just that level?
Yeah, and he's taking us 4 separate courses. And they actually like that. And he still has to take the level below us. And then maybe other levels. So in one semester you have a lecturer taking about 5-6 courses. So it's a lot of work.
See, that's why I want to talk about the fact that and some people still believe that what is it that these lecturers do now? Especially because I'm saying this from the perspective of what was experienced, what lecturers had to go through during the ASU strike. If you see the different insinuations, different verbal attacks, showing that people really don't appreciate what they do. Because it's more like you guys are just lazy folks, only probably just selling textbooks to students and things like that. That's the mentality. That you think these lecturers are only there just milking the students, making money, as if the school fees students pay goes to the pocket of the lecturers.
True, it does not go to the pocket of the lecturers. Well, to the next question. So, what are the possible causes of this shortage?
Well, different things could be responsible. First is sometimes a lot of public universities, most times they have what we call employment freeze, embargo on employment. That's there. You also have with this IPPIS system.
Can you just briefly explain to me?
Now, the idea is probably okay if in a particular year you have recruited lecturers.
Okay.
Before you can probably be allowed to recruit another set of lecturers, it might be around say 5, 6, 7 years thereafter.
Wow.
So, and you have lecturers that are retiring every year because they have a retirement age. Now, by the time they retire, who are those that are actually replacing them systematically? So the number of those that are leaving and the number of those that are coming in are not commensurate. So at the end of the day, so you always have this mismatch and the imbalance where you have more people leaving and few people are actually coming in. So at the end of the day, you have that. Now let me give you an instance. A university like University of Lagos has less than 300 professors. The entire University of Lagos has less than 300 professors. What does that say about the system? So you're talking about that. So the employment freeze is there. You also have a situation where even when the universities want to do with this system, the structural challenges that you now have, where the federal government is trying to centralize everything, mainstreaming the tertiary institution system into the IPPIS, such that before you can employ anybody, it has to, the approval has to come from Abuja. Just as if the same way you run all these ministries, MDAs, is the same thing we are bringing to the academic system, and it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That the head of service has to get the approval of so and so. Minister of Finance has to do this, has to do that. By the time you do that, the bureaucracy start talking of a quota system, federal character, and all these things. By the time you bring everything into the system, it affects because it limits the capacity of the institutions. When they notice that there is a shortage in this particular area, let us recruit people to be able to fill these vacancies. They can't do that. Because of the mainstreaming, idea that IPPIS has brought. So ordinarily, when you hear that ASU is actually tackling, these IPPIS thing, it's not because it's because they don't want they are trying to work in different places and earn salary. It is not so. It is not so. It's not true. But then it's their word against that of the government, and it's the government that controls the media, so they try as much as possible to gag you and to force it on you that it is this, that it is lecturers that are trying to do this, trying to do that. It's not true. How easy is it that you, even the one you are doing officially in this university, you've not been able to handle that? Are you not to now talk of probably going to another university to go and so, how easy does it work that way now? How many hours of work would you be able to do? So that is another challenge. Also look at the fact that how many people within the system that are actually going out of the system, being produced, the students that are being produced, how many of them actually wish to come back with the quality of lifestyle that lecturers get, with the remuneration, the conditions of service, that you're saying that a professor in Nigeria, in the public university, not a single professor, see, the highest, the professor at bar in the Nigerian system goes on with 412,000 naira a month.
Oh, wow.
So you're telling me, for instance, if a fresh graduate looks at it, so that me, as a fresh graduate, after spending 4 or 5 years in the university and I graduate, you are telling me that for me to start, I'll be starting with 220,000 naira salary. A graduate in the university system, that is what we get. And you expect to attract the best of brains that you are producing first class and you want to retain such first class within the university system, do you think it's going to work?
Of course not.
No, that I know that probably even as a fresh graduate, even as a graduate trainee in some, in the industry, in some of these companies, you cannot get anything less than 400, 500,000 for a start. Now you are a graduate trainee is earning what a professor at bar. So you are saying that, so you are now telling that person that this is what you should aim to achieve after 10, 15, 20 years. You should not be dreaming of earning 400,000. Does it make sense?
It doesn't make sense at all.
So do you think you're able to attract the best of people in the sector?
No.
So if eventually you get, so it means you only get those that are frustrated, those that are tired, or probably those who could not probably make it into the industry. Because eventually that's what you're saying.
Yeah. Or maybe those who did it for another level of processing, like those that wants to go abroad.
Well, in case I hear, saying things, something like, so at the end of the day, you look at it that is this kind of system that you want to run. That not a single, we have professors in Africa that are earning nothing less than $6,000 a month. And not a single professor in Nigeria earns even up to $1,000 a month. It's not even now talk about with this, the depreciation of the Naira.
Yeah.
So it means even a professor does not earn $500 a month. No, that's the reality. That a professor does not earn $500 a month. What some people earn in less than a week. What are we even talking about? A professor. Do you know what it takes to become a professor?
Yeah.
How many years you will spend within the system after PhD before you can become a professor?
Number of books that you have to publish and papers, right?
So many things, so many criteria, and every day it gets worse. It gets more complicated before you can become a professor. And at the end of the day, this is what you are getting. So you think that you can now get people that want to come into this job? Even those that are there are interested in running out. The Japa syndrome is there. It's not only the health sector that is facing it. Even the academic system is facing it. The education sector is suffering from the Japa syndrome. At the end of the day, so who are those that are replacing those that are leaving this system? See, let me tell you. At least if I don't know of any, I know University of Lagos very well. Of the graduate assistant that University of Lagos got, see, more than 70% of them have actually left. More than 70% of them had left. And these are the people that are thinking of, these are the future of that particular system. So you now imagine the kind of workload that will be on those that are remaining within the system.
Exactly. I think so. It becomes so evident. Like, anyway, what effect does this have? I believe we've touched on some of them, but I would like you to emphasize the effect that this have on the education institutions.
The reality is that we will not be able to retain the best of brains within the sector. And if you don't get the best of brains, who are those that will produce the kind of people, the quality of manpower that the Nigerian, society requires to be able to power its economy, to be able to power, its technology, the brains behind the technology, the brains behind the economy, the brains that would expect to actually do a turnaround to what we need in the Nigerian society. Who are those that will produce them? Then again, you also have, you continue to have people that will be overworked, people that will be stressed. You also have people that will be frustrated if this is what, continues to happen. And at the end of the day, it means that the tertiary, the higher education system probably might not have a future.
Oh.
No, it might not have a future. Because of what use is you having the physical facility and you don't have people that will actually work there. It is not the infrastructure, it's not the facilities that actually make the university.
Yeah, it's the people.
It is the quality of manpower, the human beings, the knowledge that is retained, that is produced, that is disseminated within the system that makes it a university. The universality of knowledge. That's why it is called a university. A universe of knowledge where all forms of knowledge, gets generated from there, gets produced, gets advanced, gets improved, gets disseminated, and gets used to be able to solve the problems of the society. So at the end of the day, it means that if care is not taken, probably we will now have to start thinking, and no expatriate will come. Unlike probably you say, okay, probably you start bringing in the Igbo people to come. See, they will not come.
Definitely they won't come.
When even the citizens are not staying, is it the foreigners that will now come and probably do this for us? So at the end of the day, the quality of education will actually get watered down. Because at the end of the day, we only have probably those who could not make it in other sectors are those that will probably be left, who really don't have the intellectual capacity and the required qualification to be able to work in the system. Probably those are people that will be left. So seriously, the government really needs to look at it critically. We really need to pay attention to what is happening in the system. So when ASU continues to shout, when ASUP continues to shout, when COASU continues to shout about what is going on within the education sector, especially higher education, we really need to sit down and listen to them. It's not about sentiment. It's about the future of not just higher education in Nigeria, but even the future of the society. Because the reality is, it's not even the higher education alone that benefits from the products of these institutions. All levels, all sectors of the economy. Are we going to outsource Nigeria now to foreigners to manage for us? No, in fact, probably that is the level we are going. So that then they probably will bring back Britain and China to come and colonize us in Nigeria again.
So we'll go on a short break now. When we return, the discussion continues. Please stay with us. Don't forget you can be part of this discussion by sending your comments, questions, and contributions. You can reach us on Facebook via www.facebook.com/Light Radio, Twitter @TheLight Radio. Oh, sorry, you're still listening to Education Today on Light Radio, and we are discussing lecturers' workload in public tertiary institutions, a cause for concern, and we have Mr. OLUBUNMI KAZEEM, a lecturer in the Department of Educational Management, University of Lagos, as our discussant. And don't forget, you can be part of this discussion by sending your comments, questions, and contributions. You can reach us on Facebook via www.facebook.com/Light Radio, Twitter @TheLight Radio, Instagram Light_Radio, and YouTube @Light Radio. You can also call or send a message to us via SMS or WhatsApp on 08097384000. A reminder of our short quiz: on which date is the World Toilet Day commemorated? Send your answer to the WhatsApp number 00973844000 or our Facebook or YouTube pages. The first correct answer wins the prize. So, Mr. KAZEEM, what are the labor unions doing to bring attention of the government to this situation?
Well, a lot of times the labor unions in the tertiary institutions, sector have been. In fact, they have shouted coarse. They've lost their voices in the whole of this shout. A lot of times when they come out, be it COASU, be it ASU, or be it ASU, a lot of times when they come out to talk and to lament about the situation there, people feel like they talk too much, that they complain too much, and all their own is just their money, or things like that. Until we probably change that mentality. They've been saying it, but the reality is, they say, but people don't listen. People don't listen to understand what exactly are they trying to say, and what exactly are they trying to achieve by some of these things they are saying. So when we believe that their own is only about complaining and that government is not doing enough, even the one the government has done, what have they done with it?
I'm sorry, is there no way to bring the government to ransom, to actually hold them?
The only language the government understands is strike. And the last time they went on strike, what did you do? You weaponize hunger against them. You weaponize hunger till now. It's been over a year. The ASU went on strike. Now, all the issues ASU raised last year, none, not one of them, has been addressed by the government. Not one. And ultimately, what did you do? You seized their salaries for almost 8 months. Until now, you did not release it. The president even came out this year now, about last month, to say that, hey, I'm going to give you 4 months of it on the condition you sign an undertaking. You will not do like that again. Imagine that. As if he's doing us a favor. By the time you weaponize hunger against lecturers, by the time you outlaw going on strike, because when they decide to go on strike for breach of agreement by the government itself, the court will side with the oppressor, the government. The government that is oppressing the lecturers, that is oppressing the university system, is the same government that the court sides. And at the end of the day, they told us to go back to work. The members of ASU went back to work without pay, without their salaries, and without the resolution of some of those issues. Part of what ASU was talking about is the condition of service, that we really need to review it. You cannot be paying peanuts to academic staff and you think you will get the best within the sector. It's part of what ASU demanded. Has it been done? Nothing. You talk about the fact that even the environment where we work, the necessary facilities are not available. Has the government addressed that? No. The government did not address it. They did not address the issue of the facilities. Now, what did we get in return? We'll give you student loan. And at the end of the day, the universities and the government itself also now even reduced funding for the tertiary institution system. And at the end of the day, what did we get? Now the universities are now are forced to hike the school fees to be able to meet up with the service charge. Imagine that you are, let me use the University of Lagos. You are giving University of Lagos 150 million naira as overhead cost for the whole year. And that 150 million, University of Lagos will probably spend like 100 or 200 million, or between 100 and 200 million on power alone in 1 month. How about the rest of the whole year? How about water? How about the library? Because it's part of the overhead. All these facilities, say the toilets are bad, this and that. You need that to be able to maintain all these things. Now, at the end of the day, what do we get? You are not even saying, even from the amount that these universities are charging to be able to meet up with this service charge, the government will even collect 40%. Again, that's what is ongoing now.
So from the amount you pay, the government...
From the amount you pay, the government will remove 40% from source. So, see... you people voted now, so don't worry. It's your albatross. The reality is just that. See, at the end of it means that if probably whatever University of Lagos charge they say, by next year to be able to meet up with those service charge, they will also have to increase again, because they know government will probably remove a particular percentage if we allow them to do it. If Nigerian citizens and the National Assembly allows government to go ahead with it, the implication is it will fall back to the parents. And they told you they are going to give you student. The student loan, they've not even ironed out the modalities. They kept postponing. They told you September now. Now it's January. When you will have paid the school fees. So you can understand how it is going. Revitalization fund to be able to fix the dilapidated infrastructure in the universities. Has government released anything? No. So that is to tell you that it's not as if these labor unions are not doing anything. Okay. But it's just that the government is not listening and is not responding to their calls.
Okay, and finally, what do you think can be done to salvage this situation?
Because we're talking about public universities, and unfortunately, it is the same standard that is used for public universities that has also been translated to these private universities in terms of probably the remuneration and every other thing like that. Apart from the fact that probably those ones from the school fees, the tuition fees they get from their students, they're able to fix the infrastructure. So now, what we need to do first is the fact that the government really needs to work on this IPPIS thing. Remove the pressure of IPPIS on the universities and the tertiary institutions generally, because it's not only universities, even colleges of education and polytechnics are also involved. Okay. So remove that pressure so that at the end of the day, they can, within the reality of what they need in terms of human resources, they can get the people to be able to fill up the necessary areas so that they can reduce the workload. That's that. Apart from that, is government probably needs to come up with a life assurance policy for all employees of these institutions, so that in case anything untoward happens to them, at least their families will be taken care of. Then again, we need to review the conditions of service of these lecturers, of all the staff, not just even the lecturers, so that at the end of the day, in terms of remuneration, in terms of probably the conditions of work, in terms of so many other things that revolve around the way they work and the benefits they get in return for the work they do, something better that will be rewarding, that can guarantee the retention of the quality of brains that these institutions require will be guaranteed. So we really need to look at that critically. Then government also really needs to work on the funding of education. See, you cannot shy away from it, and you cannot absorb or abdicate that responsibility to say that it is parents that will be responsible for funding education. It does not make sense. Then this idea that we should be treating students as if they are customers of the institution is very, very wrong. And I'll say this because I need to probably close on this. If, as a parent, I want to take my child to, learn a particular trade through the apprenticeship system, and I take my child there and I pay for the training, some of them probably they would locked up for 2 years, 3 years for that training, and at the end of the now, that man, the trainer, does he treat my child as a customer?
No.
Is my child the customer of that man?
He's not a customer.
He's not a customer. He's only a trainee.
Yeah, he's an apprentice. Actually.
An apprentice. Now, the government is telling us that we should be treating you students as our customers, so that at the end of the day, we'll be charging you for everything that we need in the system. Does it make any sense?
No.
So if it does not make sense for the apprenticeship system, should you not bring it to the formal educational system? So that is what we are saying, that it does not make sense. The students are not our customers. So let us not treat them as customers. Let us treat them as trainees. Let us treat them as raw materials that need to be refined, so that at the end of the day, you get a better product that you can sell to the industry, that can, showcase to the world. You give back to the that is the way we should approach it. So it is important we have this mentality, and the government also sees it from that particular direction. You don't shift the responsibility of funding education. Mind you, this same government told us that they're actually removing fuel subsidies so that they can have enough funds to be able to cater for every other thing. So what exactly do the masses enjoy from the removal of subsidy? Fuel subsidy. Now you are removing education subsidy, you are removing health subsidy, you are removing agri subsidy, you are removing subsidy in virtually everything that the masses enjoy. And unfortunately, you now retain it for yourself, because it is from this money that you are able to take care of the political elites, the executives, the ministers, the special advisors, the legislators, and everything like that. So it is the masses taking care of you, but you cannot take care of the masses. You say you don't have money. So who is deceiving who? So until we are able to see this and have a robust discussion around some of these things, so that at the end of the day we can have an agreement as the way to go for our educational system. All of us, all stakeholders, not just the government, not just the lecturers, not just the students, not just the parents, but everybody, including the business world, organized private sector, that what kind of educational system do you want for our society? Which direction do you want our society to go? Which we want to use education as a tool, to really fashion or champion that particular cause. That is the way to go. And until we are able to have this kind of discussion, we will continue to joke with ourselves. We continue to deceive ourselves.
Yeah, you said it all, actually. You said it all. Thank you very much, Mr. KAZEEM. That's all we can take on the discuss segment for today. We would like to appreciate our in-house analyst, Mr. OLUBUNMI, for the beautiful insights he has provided into this program. We'll go on another break now, and we'll be back for the words on the marble. Please stay with us. Yeah, welcome to the Words on the Marble segment of Education Today, where we take a look at memorable quotes that are educational and inspirational to everyone. Today, we have a quote from John Holt. According to him, learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is the product of the activities of learners. That's our Words on the Marble for today. For teachers and other educators, learning happens essentially when the learners are allowed to get involved and discover things themselves. You must not colonize the classroom activity. Learners must be allowed to engage in activities that will make them discover knowledge. Remember, learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is the product of the activity of learners. For our quiz question, you have a winner.
Let's check.
Okay, we have.
We only have comments actually.
We have
Not
comments,
really.
yeah. So thank you for your comments, since Kanayo and Zainab Alabi and Fatima Adune. You're all.
We appreciate your comments. Thank you. Please keep it coming. All right. So let's have the answer to the quiz. We asked that.
Question has to do with on which day
is the World Toilet Day commemorated?
So I said it at the beginning of the segment. The World Toilet Day is commemorated every 19th of November. So for today,
we actually don't have a winner.
Yes,
So
so
the
I mean,
idea is just that, see, wherever, even if you are not a winner, let us also create that awareness around us that people really need to take care of the sanitation of the environment. So this idea of, in, let me use the local language, short putting, just defecating at any corner
everywhere we
is,
see.
not ideal. And we can actually prevent pandemics and diseases, epidemics, through some of these things. So basic hygiene, and let us ensure that we also clean our toilets, we use clean water, and probably, if also communities, they can actually even set up public toilets around, and which probably you can charge a token, at least for people to be able to have access to, rather than just defecating in different
On the public.
you
And
know
again, awareness will be created about this particular
seriously.
situation. Yes, so we
So
need to
that's
talk
the
about it.
idea behind the World Toilets Day. And November 19th, tomorrow.
Yes.
So tomorrow is World Toilet Day. Let us go out there.
Educate
Let
someone
us, educate someone about it. Thank
Yes,
you.
and this is to inform you, our esteemed leaders and listeners, that you can advertise your product and services and also showcase your events on our program. This you can do by calling the number 0703 538 0732-953-8998 or 0702-507-4268. Thank you very, very much for joining us today. Let us know how you feel about today's program through our various platforms on Facebook, www.facebook.com/education today, Twitter at education today, Instagram at education_today, and YouTube at education today. You can also send an email to educationmediaservices@gmail.com. Many thanks to the entire crew of Education Today and the management of Late Radio. We have TYs and
Fee.
yes, behind
The control room.
yeah.
Thank
And
you.
the supervising producer has been, of course, Mr. OLUBUNMI, KAZEEM, and Saeed Aremu. Do join us same time next week on this station. I am Saeed Aremu, and with me is
OLUBUNMI KAZEEM. See you next week.